Okay, so I have quite a big vision, and I'm going to send you a document. It's written in Russian. It's partially sent you a part about like just vision, and there is a full-on curriculum. But in essence, I want to teach them bioarchitecture, natural building through practical skills, um, parametric design, and 3D modeling. So we can design, we can experiment by building 1 to 3 scale models, which, even in America, below building code, so they'll be like smaller than a tiny house. So we can climb on top of these structures, test out. I'm going to send you my presentation, and there you'll see a bridge. It's not my bridge, but it's designed by Philip Block. You can Google Philip Block Zaha Hadid Group Bridge, Zaha Hadid Bridge. So it's basically a compression on your structure, which is quite funky and bionic, that doesn't use any rebar. So that's like the message from the end of the book. That's where we're going, to create bionic structures that do not require any reinforcement, that can be printed with clay, and that can be fired in a chamber, in a fired oven, and the oven, through these channels, which I'm busy developing now, like Ondol floor, South Korean Ondol floor, through the channel warms up a large mass that we can heat up large greenhouses in cold climate and create tropics. So that's the vision. And basically so there's a 7-petal structure. We have academy, which teaches, so we have youth coming in and they get trained up, and then we can actually join forces with them, so as collaborators, as future, wouldn't call it laborers, because I see a world where we can, but yeah, people that express their talents doing what they love, and express and the destiny on earth. So we're all about doing what we love. So we're about finding the talents, finding the right students that actually lean towards bioarchitecture, lean towards natural eco-technologies, biomimicry, permaculture, and that kind of thing. Because bioarchitecture needs to be addressed outside with landscape and permaculture gardens, and of course the excavator that makes the ponds. So it's all that side is also quite important. But we focus on bioarchitecture, but it also will be permaculture, earthworks. Hence the 4 hectares. It's very nice land. It's slopey. It's got quite a few valleys, little valleys that we can make some dams, ponds. So it's perfect permaculture site. I'll send you some videos of it that I've took 3-4 days ago, and also from autumn, so you can see the whole site. So I was in this field 7 years ago for the first time in this community, and since then I came 7th time now. Why this community? Well, they came here 30 years ago with this guy Vissarion, who proclaimed himself as Christ, and they gathered all these people. Let me just check if it's still recording. So he gathered all these people together. They followed him. Now he's in jail. So he created a really awesome place, because if you go in some random place in Russia, there'll be not so many conscious people. Like there'll be some people that'll be drinking, and like you'll have to drive to find like a guy who does pottery or a glass maker or a blacksmith. Here they're condensed. Within 15 minutes walk or 10-minute drive, you can find a 1,500 master craftsmen. So if there's some things that I can't give to these kids, we can connect with other master craftsmen, and they have really genuine prices because they live out here. They don't hike up. In fact, the whole community has put the development of the soul at the highest level. So they're not all about, a lot of people just want to give here, which is very nice. So it's giving, and then, so there's energy exchange that's going. So they've been doing it already 30 years. And I came for the 7th time with a firm understanding that this is the launch pad. This is the academy and prototyping place where we can test out the technologies, test out how we can form teams and not, go, tell each other to F off and go our own ways, and how we actually do that. And that's why I've integrated into myself 1.5 years ago, create a mode which I accepted God inside here, the spirit, the great spirit, which is in you and me, in every tree, in a ladybug, in each one of us. So yeah, and with a prayer, which I don't even call a prayer, I call it a creation of state with word. So yeah, it's very nice because it's not like God help me, but Spirit show me how am I creating this reality. So I've taken full responsibility for my full reality, which allowed me to, well, stopped fears. All fears gone for 1.5 years already. And if there's something comes up, but it's negligible. Most fears are really gone. I can honestly say that. And feeling bliss majority of the time. It doesn't mean that I don't go through pain. And when I was forgiving my father a year ago, my earthly father, who gave me gave me life, I lots of tears because I didn't even go to his funeral. So there was lots of pain, and I'm sure a lot of people have similar things with their parents. So I've truly forgiven with Spirit that helped me, because without Spirit I couldn't forgive him. I didn't even go to his funeral. So for 3 years he's been passed away, and only now a year ago I forgave him. So I was given a flat in Moscow for infinite use for as long as I want. Nobody lives there, so 1-bedroom flat. My sister just gave me a flat, and it's just, it's not in my name, and I don't need it in my name. Yeah. And I've got a space. So and as I said, I'm feeling a lot of gratitude and a lot of. I feel good, man. I feel good. I feel I'm in a really good space. I'm not smoking. I'm not wanking anymore. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking any pot. In fact, I haven't eaten for 6 days. I'm doing a fast so I can clean myself up, clean up my vessel, because I understand that to create this academy, because the prototyping and academy is just 2 parts. Remember, there's 7 parts. I need a lot of energy, and without God I can't do this. You know what I mean? So I need that excuse me, God is not there. It's in here, and as a projection of my reality and creator within, God is all around me, but it starts for me in here. Yeah. It's like spring. You have the spring, which is in here, and it's this light, this beautiful light, love, energy. But behind that is the connection to the great spring, the mass amount of all that underground water. I'm just giving an analogy. So let me explain to you the other 5 parts to this whole structure that I want to create. Not a structure, but the vision that I have. So the third one is, of course, the BioArchitectural Design Bureau office, which will design. So now we're teaching staff to build and design in academy. We're prototyping new structures, and we're designing. Okay, for which of course we'll start designing for clients. So I've just met with 2 designers in Turkey, so we can they do bionic. We're specifically focusing on Gaudi, bionic, biomimicry, biophilic design. You can Google those, and I'm sure you know what those are. So it's non-square, non-linear, but not just interesting shape. There are in compression structures which don't require rebar. So it's very correct geometry. Catenary geometry, when you use a chain upside down and you flip it, which is one of the things we have now in my curriculum. Yeah, geometry. So which I'll send you the curriculum. I'll just Google translate it, or I can send it to you. I can send you I can send it to you in Russian, and you can just check it out. Google Translate it, with AI translate. But be that as may, I just want you to hear from me. So now we've got designing, we've got the prototype, we've got the academy, then we have the manufacturing. So the next step would be to get the manufacturing going. Okay. I am currently working for 9 months on a blueprint of, so I've got quite a few designs I'm sure you've seen over the years. I've chosen one, and I'm drilling it, not drilling it, but going really deep in full detail to develop a blueprint. Although I'll be building it from Hyper Adobe, and these youth teenagers will help with their muscle to build with Hyper Adobe. Of course, Hyper Adobe is the same technology, it's additive technology as a 3D printing. 3D printing is 3.5 by 1 centimeter. My sausages, Hyper Adobe sausage, is 35 by 10. 10 times bigger and 10 times higher. So we're going to be, I'm developing for 3D printing, that's why I'm taking the time. And I'm developing a cold climate home that, sorry, the light went off. That will heat itself using thermal mass. Okay. If you're interested, I can show you that. Let me just switch it off. Okay. Yeah, so we have those three parts. The fourth one is the manufacturing facility. So that's what we'll manufacture, what we've designed, what we've prototyped, so and what we've taught how to design and build. Yeah. So I'm seeing as kids and parents, because my relationship with my son, is somewhat wonky, and I'm sure other fathers could be like really strengthening their relationship. So we don't just want to work with kids; we also want to work with parents, because one of the things I want to translate to the kids is consciousness as well, but not just some fairy tale stuff, the real stuff. And I had 4 kids praying with me the other day, creating state in a state with the word, and it was really, really nice. They were yawning, which showed a sign that neurons were rewiring, and yeah, because all these beautiful things are useless unless we're feeling self-love. And I was looking at a girl came in today that was praying with me, and her whole hand is cut up. That's due to self-hate. So I know that because I had 20 years of depression. I know what it feels like. So that's why when I came to the Great Spirit within, I know what to compare with. So I will talk about the Great Spirit because it's a very important part. It's the 7th. By the way, my favorite number is 7. I was born on the same day as Mahatma Gandhi, second, which I just thought 7 second, upside down. But yeah, that's so same day as Mahatma Gandhi is my birth date. Okay, so we've got the manufacturing, we've got the all the other 3 which you know of. The next thing, of course, is the construction company, so that develops all of this turnkey solution. So the way I see these bionic, like this filler block bridge, I'll send you my presentation. You'll see it in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it arrives in a container, and everything is there. And with my strength actually to unite biology, biomimicry, with high technology and with spirit. That's like a trio that I'm unifying, and I've got, that's my strength. I've been designing in 3D Max in 1994, since 1994. So, it's one of my really big strengths. And I'm not just designing, I'm building these things. Yeah. So I can transfer these skills. But this triad, because usually spiritual people are like, no, the technology is evil, or the techie people, they're like, no, biology, we don't know how to integrate. So I've mastered to integrate all 3 through my wetlands that I've built, and you've seen in my videos lots of biomimicry, natural technologies combined with bioarchitecture, and that's what I'll be translating. But of course, we're moving towards 3D printing. So all these panels arrive in a container, and the whole house goes up in 1 week with windows, curtains, the whole lot. So be very well organized. And that's how we can provide jobs, large scale, and those people that want to come in as partners can come in as partners. So it will depend. But with the creator mode, the 7th module, the spirit, I want to integrate people. I want to translate to people physics of consciousness, which is 5D, which means you take full responsibility for yourself. You move up levels in reality. In 5D, move you to watch Netflix series called Dark Matter. And if you've seen Dark Matter, you basically, it will explain. But the one thing they're missing there is the feeling. So we need spirit to move, to really feel love, because with this love, we move up in energy, in levels of reality. And from that high level of reality, new level of reality, it's like a literally different frequency. I hope I'm not scaring you. And from that high level of reality, you solve problems that on lower level of reality you couldn't find solutions to, if that makes sense. And yeah, so the other 2 parts I can't think of right now, but it's all there. It's all there. Festival. Oh yeah, the other 2, of course, there is the Museum of Bioarchitecture in the city, because we're like far out from the city, but there's a whole community here with about 5,000 people. But definitely franchising in future these bioarchitectural museum buildings, collab, co-working, workspace. Like in America, you have a concept workspace. What is it called? It's where there's a warehouse with a whole bunch of tools and makerspace. So it's like a makerspace, fathers and kids in one unit, central unit like a place to climb, and all in plants. Obviously, fathers and kids no plants because it'll be grinding, cutting, making, you know, that kind of thing. And then the last one, Mama Land. So amphitheater style platforms with tables. Moms can chill, enjoy tea, green juice, and all like healthy things, and kids in little beach on the sand playing there with, like, you know, somebody looking after them. It's alternative to playground. So that's like the city modules that will be spread out like a franchise. And this is not just a Russian thing. In fact, I want to get to America, and I'll, you know, my aim is to come to America in February. If I can get, not if, my intent is to raise the funds to come to America in February, and I'll meet you in person. So that's my intent. There's a couple of other people, and all my students are in America. I have 3,500 students in my BioArchitecture Academy, BioVeda, online, and I just tired of online. I want to teach live, physical, there with people, hands-on, and teach the teachers so they can teach the others. So that's how I'm seeing it. And the seventh one is a laboratory to universities. So it's not just me designing or a couple of other people. You know, we can plug in 100, 200 students that are learning landscaping or construction or architecture. We can actually plug them into this model, inspire them, use the expensive 3D printers from university, do some research with them, and of course there's a whole diagram that I'll send you that integrates between all of them. There's interconnections, like a seven petals, 7 colors diagram, and there's many connections. I wrote all those connections out, and I drew a really nice diagram. And so one of my other strengths is information organization. Yeah, and I'm busy putting a little book, a square book, 27 by 27 centimeters, which can act as a presentation on the phone, presentation on a screen, or a little book that they can flip, maybe like 20-30 pages, which I can translate my vision to the people. On the right hand will be a nice photo with, like, which I designed already, with 5 pictures and geometrically designed. On the left will be the text with certain diagrams that you can move your phone over, and they pop in 3D, and you know. So I'm seeing also use of augmented reality. We'll put the glasses on and you can actually see the structures come up. The program is called Follogram. You can Google Follogram construction, and you can see how the guy's actually making brick structures just by seeing them in glasses. So I'm envisioning definite use of high technology, and I'm not scared of technology. So we'll be teaching them even Photoshop, video editing a little bit, you know, just the basics that they can get up on their feet. So it's like an interesting course encompassing quite a few parts. And of course, the most important one is love for life, you know, because without love for life, which I came to conclusion, the only way, I only did it a year and a half ago, the only way is to learn to love God within, yeah, the Great Spirit. And with that, you know, then with that love towards the invisible, but you feel that love back, and that's how I learned to love myself. That's what worked for me. Maybe for others it's different. I can just speak from my experience. Just check if it's yeah. So that's in essence what came from my heart. I'm here, I'm doing it, and I want to do this in Mexico. I'm going to Mexico in January. That's why I want to come to America, because I'll be already right there. I want to do a warm climate research lab and academy in Mexico, and possibly in America. That's the vision. Maybe in well, I don't know how it will turn out. My intent is that because in Mexico there's no building code, so we can really do like what we want there. You know what I mean? In America, we can maybe do some small scale stuff, like 1 to 3 scale models, prototyping, testing, and an academy, and all, obviously. But but let's see how that goes. But definitely either Mexico and America will be a warm climate research lab to test out these structures. The new printers that are coming out, especially from ICON, built in Texas, is amazing. It's called Phoenix. It's on tracks, comes out of the truck, and it just prints. It doesn't need any rails. It's a thing that drives, and it just prints with this long arm, and the guy's done phenomenal work developing it. So at the end of the day, we have a full package in order to be able to do print villages, print conscious villages, small towns based on bioarchitecture, biomimicry, and biogeometry, which means that we find the power spots first. So I'm talking about the right thing, how to create, like, not utopia, but really how to learn to forgive and how to make a space that we can actually collaborate together. So the cities that I see, and I'll send you a video, basically what I'm talking about right now is in this video, but you can visually understand, is to collaborate and not F out on halfway through and to give each other fingers. I know it's your fault, because with this physics of consciousness, as you accept full responsibility for yourself, there's no more he did it, or when Trump gets to power then we'll live better, or when you take full responsibility. So you create better I create better for myself every day by taking full responsibility, by doing my with word prayer, by terminating any leaks such as guilt, shame, ought to, have to, all that stuff from the childhood that we carry. I worked through it with the Great Spirit. I couldn't do it with psychology. I tried, and the loss of energy just loses the energy, and so I turned those off, and the Great Spirit is always pumping love. So I just start filling up, because I switched off any leaks. With my word, I consciously created inner state, so I feel good, and from that inner state I'm creating, and that's how you're coming into my life. That's how Mike Adams came into my life. So it's basic, it's quantum physics. So the wave and particle experiment. So based on the observer, the wave quantum collapses into a particle. So basically, when we feel bliss in our heart, that good loving feeling, without dope, but the real deal, I'm talking about the real deal, okay? Feel throughout your whole body. It starts here. Your soul basically is the organ in the body that feels, and one of its main functions. The soul is an organ in the body that feels, okay? It's about history, so it has all the history of yours, of mine, and the spirit is more about the future, and past and everything, where was I going with it? Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was going so fast. Anyway, oh yeah, of course. So when we are raising ourselves in this good blissful energy, just feel good, not crystal clear. I'm talking high consciousness, super present. Yeah. Then basically we quantum collapse the waves into high quality particles. High quality particle was Mike Adams for me. A blogger that contacted me and say, hey, would you like to do he just put out a launch, and I don't know, maybe, I don't know how many people he's got subscribers. Like I think more than 100,000 people found out about me just like that, and that's cool. That's really cool. That's what I'm talking about. So it works. I've just 3 weeks ago started speaking with the mother of my son, Helen. And I haven't been speaking to my son for 5 years. I haven't spoken to her for 6 years. So what I'm talking about really heals. A month ago, I actually made a connection with my ex, and we went on a 1.5 hour Zoom call. And I know this is the first step towards rekindling the relationship with my son. And I even transferred some money to her the other day. So it's because I just wanted to, not because I have to, or owe to, or any of that. I just wanted to, because not even because it's the right thing. I just feel here that I want to do it. I want to send her no, it wasn't much, like $100, but still, I just sent it to her, and when more comes, I'll send her more. So that's my first step towards rekindling the relationship with my son. I don't want to buy a relationship, but I just felt it was it was just felt right to do it. You know what I mean? Just felt good to do it. Not even right, good. Felt like I've managed to install an indicator. I have a yes, which expansion, just want to stretch. I sometimes yawn, or contraction. Just want to contract, implode, and put my fingers in, and it's like feels like a contraction. So and that's how I feel everything out, and that's what works for me. A clear yes or no from the holy one spirit that we are all connected to. Yeah, so I guess that's my sharing. Thank you for your willingness to share some of your financial abundance. It's going to go towards a good cause. Yeah, it's going to go towards the development, the purchasing of the land. 1/3 we just paid in, by the way. I have a proof if anybody, or if you want to see it. But yeah, and of course to develop this home that I'm busy designing. Yeah, it's a self-heating. It's basically a remodeling of the earthship, where I force the heat into the berm, and I make the berm much bigger, and I tap into that berm's heat to heat the structure in winter, and underground cold air to cool the structure in summer. And of course the grey water wetland, just like an earthship, and it's all designed on Vastu and Feng Shui. So energetically wise, it's a good structure. So thus I have a little bit of windows in the northern side, because it's important for spiritual and financial abundance. My entrance from the east, and that kind of thing, which earthship doesn't. Earthship is all buried around, and just windows towards the south, which is great for laws of physics, but laws of the human and spiritual laws, it's not good. You can't have a structure with just south facing, because it's too much Mars, too much fire. But that's a separate dialogue. But so as you understand, I've gathered quite a lot through live training at other masters, and I implemented it, and now I want to share with others. So with that, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me. And yeah, and I'll put my details below, where you can send your love. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for your willingness to assist me. And I'm doing this for our Creator. So all the glory I right now hand over to our Creator. For it's not me that's creating, it's He's doing it through me. With that, I'm out. Thanks, brother. Bye.